What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I made this video just to reflect on a quick interview I watched. It was with Ellie Seckbach and ES News. They did an interview with none other than the great legendary trainer Ignacio Beristain, most commonly known as Nacho Beristain, who trains Juan Manuel Marquez and has trained him for all of his fights with Pacquiao and even before that. Um, he was asked about the Canelo Floyd Mayweather fight, and the thing I like about Nacho is he's a student of the game. I mean, the man was born in like 1939 or 1940, and he's still doing what he loves doing, which is training. And he's successful in doing that. In addition, he gives objective, impartial advice and predictions on fights. He doesn't discount people based on creed or race or anything like that. He's not like, oh, Canelo's gonna knock Mayweather out in the round one, which could happen because it's boxing and anything can happen in the sport of boxing. To be honest, I didn't think Ruslan Provodnikov would have Timothy Bradley on his last leg in round one or two, but it happened, and Bradley weathered the storm. However, he gives a fair shake, and that's what I love about the sport of boxing. We have a lot of people in the YouTube boxing community who do the polar opposite of that. Based on the fighter they favor, they like, the share the national origin with. That's who they ride with, no matter what, and that's cool. You know what I mean? Support your own, support people with similar backgrounds and experiences to you. The problem that I don't like is sometimes people do that to the point where they disregard facts. They disregard patterns to ride with their person, and that's not what the sport of boxing is about. If you appreciate the sport, then you should give it a fair shake instead of saying, "Oh, I'm Mexican, so Canelo's going to destroy Mayweather." You could say, "I hope he destroys him," but statistically speaking, based on everything, what leads you to believe that he's going to destroy him in round one and all this and that? So watch the interview with Nacho Beristain. Good interview, it's quick, and he was basically just saying that he favors Mayweather in the fight because he's always respected Mayweather for being a smart fighter. In fact, his own fighter fought Mayweather way back when Mayweather was fresh out of retirement, came overweight on the scales, and dominated Juan Manuel Marquez for 12 rounds straight, knocked him down during one of those rounds. So he shows love and respect for Floyd Mayweather. Also to Canelo, he didn't bash Canelo. That's the difference with the YouTube boxing community. He didn't say anything bad about Canelo, and Canelo and his fighter Marquez, his longtime like road dog, has beef or has had previous beef with Canelo. They've exchanged words and that kind of thing. And yet and still he still didn't get on the mic and say, "Oh, Canelo's trash" or anything like that. He didn't bash Canelo. He just says, based on Mayweather being a smart fighter and Mayweather's experience, he doesn't think that Canelo is ready for a fighter or style of fight like Mayweather. He says if Mayweather comes in shape and condition, he sees him beating Canelo. He said if Canelo were to beat Mayweather, it'd be good for boxing, but it's a very difficult fight, and he doesn't really see it happening. So again, shout out to the real boxing heads. Some of you guys, again, you're so biased that there's no. If you're from Argentina, Lucas Batiste and Maidana can't be beat. Like, you're not willing to look at the other side of the coin. Like, oh, this other fighter, their opponent, has the potential to beat him if they do X, Y, Z. It's just, oh, Lucas is a machine. He'll kill anybody. I mean, he's a human being like anyone else. Pacquiao is a human being. Mayweather is a human being. These people are all regular human beings who train and fight for a living. So again, shout out to Nacho for just being a great trainer and always being a student of the game, which is an element I think that some people don't grasp. Another thing with Nacho that I like, why I think he's an underrated trainer, is at the Romanza gym in Mexico, he's actually spawned or like created the careers. He's trained people from a very young stage in their career all the way to the point where they were like maturing like teens or even past that like adults. So to me, that's a great trainer. You look at Virgil Hunter and Andre Ward's partnership. This is not a fighter that he just got because he lost a fight. Andre Ward lost a fight and said, hey, the grass is greener on the other side. I'm fucking with Virgil Hunter. He's been working with Andre Ward for the longest, since Ward was a kid. And they've been through life experiences together. When Andre Ward's father passed, Virgil Hunter stepped in and was there. So same exact thing with Nacho Beristain. He's been on the roller coaster ride with Juan Manuel Marquez. He's had fighters where he's seen their rise and he's also seen their fall. Like, he's worked with a lot of different athletes from a young, very young age all the way to world titles. So to me, that's a hell of a trainer. Anyone that could do that, that's a great trainer. Um, a lot of times you get media hype trainers. I don't mean to say media hype because I try not to use that word too much, but basically trainers who are in the spotlight or in the limelight. Not that they're bad trainers, but like people like Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach is a good trainer. However, based on his affiliation with Pacquiao and Pacquiao's rock star status, it gave Freddie Roach a lot of credit. And if you think about it, Manny Pacquiao was already good at the time he was fighting, or that he started training with Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach didn't create Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao already had God-given speed, power, movement. There are things that Freddie Roach worked on, obviously, with him, and they built their chemistry, and then the rest is history. But he didn't work with Pacquiao when Pacquiao was in the Philippines, and then he was there when Pacquiao got knocked out by those random bums in the Philippines, and then he worked him up to a world title. He was already doing pretty good. I think he beat Marco Antonio Barrera without Freddie Roach, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, the point being is he didn't work with that fighter for and introduce him to boxing or anything like that. Maybe the same way Nacho has with some of his fighters, or Virgil Hunter. So that's my point. Not taking anything from Freddie Roach, it's just a fact. So I definitely can appreciate the fighter who's there for the whole process, as opposed to, hey, I just get a fighter when they're good. I mean, and the same goes for the flip side of the coin. Virgil Hunter gets slack, like, oh, maybe he's not the greatest trainer or not as good as we thought because Andre Berto and Amir Khan look like shit in their last fights. However, you can't hold that all against him because he hasn't been with those people from the beginning. So those people could have picked up bad habits, bad flaws, and holes in their fight game that he has to now correct. So because you don't see those corrections in one fight or two fights or even 3 or 4 fights, doesn't mean he's not a good trainer. So the best indication is to see somebody who initially trains with the fighter, like Zhao Shiming. I think that's a better barometer for Freddie Roach. What Freddie Roach could do with Zhao Shiming as opposed to Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao had already turned pro, had been fighting at the pro level, and then went over to fight Freddie Roach, or fight with Freddie Roach. Zhao Shiming, his very first pro debut, he had been trained by Freddie Roach. His second pro fight, trained by Freddie Roach. So a little bit different. And that's just a quick boxing lesson for some of you guys that don't know the sport and what it entails. Back to the topic in the video, Nacho Beristain, hell of a trainer, great trainer, and most importantly, he's impartial. He gives impartial advice, and I honestly think he gives his honest thoughts on different subject matters, which is always great in the sport of boxing because so few people do that. So many people are going to be like, oh, Canelo's going to run through Mayweather. Mayweather's the runner. He's ducking. Mayweather, chicken dance. Like, I mean, just stupid shit that don't have nothing to do with boxing. And I'll say the same thing for people who are bashing Canelo. Like, Canelo worked his way up. He got to his level. And that's it. May the best person win on September 14th. Like, I don't bash, like, it's not a bashing session. If I say something about Canelo or Mayweather or Zab Judah, it's not because I'm bashing them, because I like most of these fighters, like, just in general, just to watch, just personalities outside the ring or whatever it may be. But I give a fair shake, whether fans want to hear it or not, and that's just what it is. So let me know what you think of Nacho Beristain and his recent comments on Canelo and Mayweather. Definitely a difficult fight for both fighters. So let me know what you guys think of this matchup in these comments. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego, signing off.